sewer line moved that transects several parcels next to the building. However, there are some other parcels that are going to be developed, and hopefully we're going to try some retail in those outlying parcels. So that's something that I'm working with the city on, and we should have some announcements coming in the next couple of months of what may be taking place there. Also, I don't like using this word because it's kind of a buzzword, but everybody keeps hearing about reshoring. There is quite a bit of activity where there's a lot of companies that do business in the United States, but they're based in Europe. A lot of them are in Western Europe, but what they're wanting to do is move closer to their markets. So right now, through the state of Tennessee and Tennessee Valley Authority, we're getting quite a bit of requests for information. They're looking for industrial sites that are ready to go. So that kind of leads into some of the things that we've been talking about for several months, some of the things that Mayor Humphrey has brought up. We are partnering with some communities that surround us. We have identified some parcels that we are hopefully going to be able to start to develop. I'm working with some of the regional economic developers to come up with some development costs, so we'll know what we're going to bring back to the county. But right now, the site that we're looking at, it will be in close proximity to Interstate 26, which then gives you a straight shot down to the Charleston port and some other things. We've got some intermodal, rail access to both Irwin and Johnson City. So we're going to have a very marketable site. There's been talk about a possible spec building, but right now, if we get a certified pad-ready site to go, that will be probably one of the few in Northeast Tennessee that will have the market. So that's something that we hope that will bear fruit fairly quickly. But I'll be bringing that back up very soon. Of course, the big thing, snap-on tools, everybody's seen the dirt get moved around. That was, of course, something that last spring I talked about, referred to as Project Quest. Since they were looking at other locations, we had to give it the project name. But in January, when I met with some of the Snap-on leadership, and then their corporate office gave the go-ahead for us to start putting local incentives together. At that time, we had to meet with engineers, contractors, of course the Snap-on people, and try to figure out what was it that they're going to have to make them choose Carter County. Once we got kind of a fairly good idea of what they were looking for, that's when we had to bring all of our local partners together. The Alliance for Business and Training, the State of Tennessee's Economic and Community Development Department, TDEC, the local governments, meaning the mayor's office, the city mayor's office. Then we also had to go to Nashville for several answers. Well, this thing, from when it looked like we were going to be able to put the pieces together, of course I don't want to leave the city of Elizabeth out, they were obviously at the table also. And then also the county planning department, not just the city planning department, the county planning department, Chris Schuler was helpful. So once we got all these people together, and we're trying to herd chickens and get them all going the same way, from the day that Snap-on Tools told us, their corporate office said, go, 32 days later is when they started pushing dirt. This is kind of unheard of in this area. I mean, the way that we work together, both locally, city, county, and the state, and like I said, the Alliance for Business and Training, we put fast-track infrastructure grants together, we put training dollars together, we put incumbent training dollars together. Basically, we put a quick enough incentive package to where the investment of over $23 million is coming to Carter County. And of course, jobs, which is what we were supposed to be doing, increasing the asset base and creating jobs. So that was something that, again, if we didn't fire on all cylinders, it definitely wouldn't have happened. And it's a very big project too, so the stars lined up, and that's something that we hope will happen again. But right now, the way the world is looking at us, the quicker you can get from spending money to making money is how you win the projects. And that's kind of leads back into the reshoring and why we need that pad-ready site. Also, Red Energy, that project is in the middle of third-party testing right now. They're going through 48-hour stress tests to make sure that the equipment can hold up under extraordinary circumstances. So far, the testing has been successful, and it's the people that are cutting the check to buy the technology are the ones that are doing this testing or hiring another engineering firm to do the testing. It's all coming out right now, crunching the numbers. Meanwhile, I have been meeting with our regional partners, meaning the other counties that are putting the feedstock agreements together. I've met with 4 of the counties so far. Everything is positive. Each of the counties are drafting their own feedstock agreements, just like our attorney is working with ours. Once we hit that 300 tons a day feedstock, in this case it's going to be tires and probably wood chips, or just municipal waste, then we're looking to have the capital expended, and it will be about a year and a half before the equipment will be set. They have one location that they are looking at very closely. If for some reason that falls through, they're still looking in Carter County. But anyway, we're hoping to have an announcement this summer. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed, make sure everything hits. They are not asking for anything out of the ordinary as far as local incentives. Most of the incentives will come from the state. The zoning, everything's already in place. There will not be environmental issues. It's a zero emission type setup. It's a closed loop system. And there's no thermal burn, so there's no atmospheric issue. The EPA would be covering that up fairly closely anyway. And then lastly, actually this is Friday afternoon. It looks like we have reached out, and this is something that I know the mayor brought up before also, in Carter County tomorrow, is we're working to try to get someone to look at our community to have a higher level hotel than what we have here right now, something that we can put some of the guests that we're inviting to come stay with us. We made a pretty strong case, and it looks like we know at least one developer is going to be coming and possibly 2 others. So that we'll be hosting them for a visit and letting them look at our community and see some of the numbers that we're talking about. So other than that, we do have several other projects going on. We met with the engineers for the Road Mountain Sewer Project. They've got their numbers together. We'll hear something later this month, and then we will bring the local group back together, the technical committee back together, and we can hopefully get that project picked up and started again. Right now, there is some funding through the federal government that will actually tie into this, so we're hoping to be able to capitalize on that. But